Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so let's just jump right back in where we left off last video. Let's fill out this teacher class. Okay, so remember that we created this person-based class, and our student class now extends person. Well, we're going to do the same thing with our teacher class. Every teacher is a person. Every teacher has a name and birth date. But every teacher might also have some more information. Every teacher might have a school that they belong to. Every teacher might have maybe like a spouse, like a husband or a wife, and so we would want to record that information. So we would use another class called teacher. Alright, so every teacher is a person, so we'll extend our person class. So what's going on here? We need a constructor, right? So we'll create a constructor, public teacher. Every teacher, we're going to pass in a name. Oops, come on. And we're going to pass in a birth date. And we'll leave our other parameters alone for now. We're going to construct our person or base class by passing in this name and birth date. So now our person class, basically now we're populating the person information with this call. Now our person knows the name and birth date. Alrighty. And now what we're going to do is we're going to override our print info function. And we're just gonna do this. Print system.out.println. I was born on. Let's leave that off for now. We're just gonna do I am a teacher. All right, and finally let's comment these guys out, and we'll do teacher 1. So we get a new teacher. What name? Maybe Sally. And this teacher was born March 1, 1980. And then just to make sure things are working properly, yeah. So I am a teacher. Alright, cool. But this is kind of boring, right? Suppose we wanted to print out the day the teacher was born on. Alright, so that should be pretty simple, right? Because every teacher extends person, so because every teacher extends person, we should have access to these name and date variables, right? Okay, so let's try. I'm a teacher, and I was born on plus birth, what did we call it? Okay, so let's copy this birth date variable. And no, I mean, it highlights it as blue, which indicates that it's a variable, but we're not allowed to access it. We get this compiler error. So what is the compiler error? Well, we get this error saying the field and birth date is not visible. What does that mean? Well, remember, we have these 3 access qualifiers. We have private, we have public, and we also have one called protected. So if you have a private qualifier right here, what that does is it says that nothing, absolutely nothing outside of this person class can have access to this name or birth date variables. So nothing can change or look at the value of this name or birth date variable if you're not within the person class. If we were to make this public, notice that our error goes away, and it's because we're extending person, right? We're in the teacher class. We're extending person, so we have access to these variables. But now because it's declared public, we're actually able to modify them or look at them. Well, the problem is now I'm in my main class. This is a completely arbitrary class, and now I can just set it to maybe like January 1, and maybe like not format it correctly, and now it'll automatically be set, even though I'm not inside of my person class anymore. To deal with this, remember our... Actually, get rid of that. So remember that we had our getters and setters from before. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make it so public. Actually, if you're using Eclipse, a very handy functionality. Let me see if I can remember. Don't remember the keyboard shortcut, but you can actually insert your getters and setters in automatically. So let's see here, where is it? Source, so you go to source, then you go generate getters and setters. You can just do select all, make them public, boom. Now you have all your getters and setters. Alright, so now we're going to get a compiler error here, and we're going to, well, we still have our compiler error, but now it's easy to fix. We can just do get birth date. And then we don't need this. We could, I mean, if we wanted to set the birth date again, we would just do set birth date. Alright, we run, and we see that I'm a teacher and I was born on March 1, 1980. Okay, cool. So it seems like, this is marginally useful, you might be thinking, like, because, well, okay, in this case we only have a single other variable, we have our GPA, but when we're using a teacher, we're not even getting any kind of benefit because we're not storing any other kind of data. So let's fix that just by adding some more data that we want to store about each teacher, but not about each person. So each teacher, for example, belongs to school, but not every person does. So we might want to store the school. We might want to store the, maybe like salary of the, well, we would store maybe like the salary inside of a double. Salary. And then let's call this M school. Our teacher constructor, it's going to take in a school, and then we can set our school variable as so, and salary is equal to salary. And then now we're going to get a compiler error because we need to populate that other piece of information. So let's say that the school is UCLA and the salary is 90,000. Okay, cool. Let's look at, suppose we had a collection of teachers. So, or no, how about this? Yeah, suppose we had a collection of teachers. Teacher 2 is equal to new teacher, Wendy. And then this, this February 2, 1980, and then this Caltech, 190,000, and then we would do teacher 2.print info, and then we could do the same thing over and over. Suppose now that we create a student. Actually, let me comment this guy out so we can use him again. Hello, Willie. Nice to meet you again. Okay, so we have our student again, and we're going to print out all of this information, and we get what we want. We get I'm a teacher, I was born, I'm a teacher, and now I'm a student. But is there a way to store all of these guys inside of a single array? Remember, we can store a bunch of ints inside of, like, for example, int client is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it would be useful if we wanted to store maybe like an array of persons. Suppose we had an array that contained a student, a teacher, and then let's say we created another class that like I don't know, businessman. So businessman extends person, and then what are they called? Fireman. So we could have a fireman that extends person, and then we could have a politician that extends person. So we could have all of these different types of people that extend person, and we would want to store them inside of like an array, and then we would want to call the print info function on each of them. So is that possible? It turns out it is. It's done using something called polymorphism. So to do that, let's create a person array. My person array is equal to, and let's use the shorthand kind of lazy syntax for creating an array. So what we're going to do is inside of our array, the first index we're going to populate with a student. And the student will be called Willie. He will be 15 by now. Let's start up April 22,000, and Willie has a 4.0. And then we're also going to put in a teacher inside of here. Wendy. Let me just copy this actually. And let's get rid of that right there. Alright, so why does this work? Well, it works because we're storing a bunch of people or persons inside of this array called person. This person array, it expects that each element inside of this array is a person. Well, each student is a person and each teacher is a person. So therefore, we can store them inside of this person array. Now, why is this useful, you ask? Well, it's useful because now we can loop through our persons array, and we can just do very easily .print info, and we get this. This is useful because suppose you had this print info function, and you for each teacher and each student, and you wanted to call that function. In order to do that, you might need to have two different arrays, a student array and a teacher array. Okay, so that was the basic idea behind polymorphism. I'll see you guys in the next lecture.